All right, good day everyone. Today we're going to do notes on area of regular polygons. So I'm just going to go over this. I'm going to read this real quick and then I'm going to show you how to find the center angle. I'm just going to write that up here. And then we're going to do 4 examples. Let me sharpen this. Should have sharpened this before I started the video. So area of a regular polygon. The area of a regular non-gon with size length S, okay, is half the product of the apothem A and the perimeter. So that's a formula. A equals 1/2 apothem times perimeter. So you do need to find the central angle. So you want to add this. And you use the formula 360 over n, okay? And n equals the number of sides. Okay, so you definitely want to have that. Now we're going to do some of these different shapes down here. And on these two, we're going to be able to use special rights to help us. But on the bottom two, we're going to have to use tricks. So you are going to go back and review some of the stuff you guys learned earlier to help you solve some of the problems. So that's why it's important to remember how to do that. So the first thing down here, I know my goal is to find the area. So what I want to do first is figure out my central angle. So I'm going to go ahead and take 360 and divide it by the number of sides. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3, which gives me 120. Well, the central angle technically is this whole part, but I have half of it, so you have to take the 120 and divide it by 2. All right, so now this is a 60 angle right here. All right, so this is a 60, 90. I know this also has to be 30. So I'm just going to pull out that little triangle. All right, we have 60, my right, and then this little part is 30, okay? And then we already had 4 here. So what you want to do now is go ahead and use special rights. This is a 30, 60, 90. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the rule on it, which is x, because it's on the 60 side, x radical 3 and 2x, okay? So what I need to find, I don't need to worry about the slant here. I need to find this S. Now this S is only half of it. I want the entire side. So I'm going to go ahead and find that first by using the special right. Well, I know x equals 4. So to get this, and this is actually half of an S, I would do 4 radical 3. But if I want the full S, I would need to take this and times it by what? 2. So S equals 8 radical 3. So that is the full S. This whole thing is, oops, I put 4. Should be 8 radical 3. That's the entire length. So when you're doing the length, you want the entire length, not just half. Okay? So now if I go to the formula, which is A equals 1/2 apothem times perimeter, I got the apothem, which is 4, because that's already given to me. That's the height right here. But I do not have the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance around here. Well, I have one side. So to find the perimeter, the bells are like off, sorry. Find the perimeter, it's going to be 3 times my side. So I'll just do 3 times 8 radical 3, and the perimeter turns out to be 24 radical 3. So now I'm just going to put everything into the formula. So we're going to keep the 1/2. You type in the apothem, and then you type in your perimeter. You can put all that in the calculator, and I think it turns out to be about 81.14. And that's all you do. All right, let's try another one. Okay, so let's do the square one. Same thing like we did on number 1. First thing you want to do is find the central angle. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So my n this time is going to be 4. So I'm going to do 360 divided by 4, which gives me 90. Again, that is this whole triangle, but you want half of it. So divide it by 2, and it turns out to be 45. Okay? So this angle here is 45. So this is 45, this is 90. We know a triangle adds up to 180, so that means this also is 45. So we got another special right. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rule triangle, 45, 45. Okay, so the rule triangle for that one is x x, x radical 2. So then you want to look to see on this triangle where you have a number. Well, I don't have anything on the apothem, which that's what I need. I don't have anything on the side either, but I do have the slant height. So I have that here, which equals that. So you remember how we did before? You can say x radical 2 equals 6. All right, and to get x by itself, you would divide the radical 2 out on both sides. Okay, you guys can go ahead and convert this to a decimal, or you can go ahead and get rid of the radical 2 and have 6 radical 2 over 2. Either one is fine. However you want, you could go ahead and just convert that to a decimal, or you can just go ahead and simplify the radical. So that is going to be our x value. So this equals x. Okay. Well, x is the same thing as our apothem, so we're good to go on that. And if we want to see what that is, let's get our calculators. Let's put that in here so we can see what that looks like. Because like I said, you could have just done this. 6, where's my division button? And it comes out to about 4.24, and the same thing as this one, so you can see. Should have put all this in parentheses though. Where's the insert? Okay, and then all over 2. And you see it turns out to be the exact same. So it doesn't matter which one you use. So this is your x inside. So again, this turns out to be about 4.243. I would go to at least 3 decimal places to make it more exact. Well, if we use this, and I'm just going to use the decimal. Okay, so this is my apothem. So we have the formula equals 1/2 a times p. Well, we got the 1/2. We got our apothem because that's just x. But I don't have the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be 4s because there's 4 sides. Well, I know I have one of the sides, so I could just times that by 4. Let's times that by 4. And it turns out to be, P turns out to be a 16.971, about that. Okay? And then you just put this all in the calculator. So I'm just showing you how you would type it. Oh, you can't see it. So 0.5 times 16.971. And you guys can see, oh, I don't think I typed something in right. Oh, that looks too small. That should be 33. Let me do that again. 4 times 4. Oh, you know what I didn't do, guys? Good thing. See, I made a little mistake, so I'm going to erase. This is only half the side. You remember, it's just x. So if I want the full side, I need to times this by what, everyone? 2. So let's do that first. Sorry about that. And it turns out to be 8.43. So for the full side length, you're going to do 8.486. I said it wrong. Now let's retype that in. I apologize. So we're going to do 4 times, oh, get my answer back. And then times that by 4. Turns out to be 33.944. Because that sounds better. Because I was like, this was not. All right, so let's just put that in there. 33.944. And then let's retype it in one more time. So 0.5 parentheses 4.243 times 33.944. So it turns out to be at 72 around. So the area is about 72. All right, so that's all you're going to do. Depending on what your decimal place is, you might got 70.95 or something. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 3. Sorry about that. Can't believe I didn't do that. So you got to remember, we only have half of the side. We want the full side. So on this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 sides. So again, I'm going to find the central angle, which gives me 72. And then you want to divide that in half. So this gives me about 36. Okay, 36 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make this, oops, a little off of my thing. So this angle is 36, and I have a right triangle. And they're giving me this full length here, which is 8 centimeters. Okay. Well, if I know the full length is 8, this is easy to get half of it. I just divide 8 by what? 2. So we know this is going to be 4. So, all right, so I have 4. But the full length is 8, okay? But for me to do my trig, I'm going to have to use the 4, all right? So let's get the perimeter because the perimeter will be easiest to do. So perimeter equals how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times S. We already got the full length, which is 8, so it's just going to be 5 times 8, which is 40, okay? Now, to get our apothem, which is right here, all right, I'm going to set up my trig triangle. Okay, and I'm looking for this one here. So you got to remember, are you going to do tangent, sine, cosine? Well, if I'm here, okay, sorry, if I'm right here, and I have an opposite and adjacent, the only thing I can use is tangent. You see that? I'm right here, opposite, adjacent. So this will be a tan problem. So it's going to be tan 36 equals 4 over A. You do not want A on the bottom, so you can just multiply that on both sides, or you can use X. So it's going to be a division problem because you're going to end up with A tan 36 equals 4. Then you divide that tan 36 out on both sides. So you're going to put in the calculator 4 tan 36. Okay, so I'll write a little neater. 4 tan 36, okay, and that turns out to be, I think, about 5.51. I'm just going to go to one decimal place, 2 decimal places this time, okay. So this is the same thing as my A. So now let me write the formula again. All right, so we have everything we need. All right, so we're going to do 1/2. You're going to take your apothem, which is about 5.51. You're going to take your perimeter, in this case is 40. Put it all on the calculator, and it turns out to be about 110.2. And this time you can put centimeters because it gives you the units. All right, we're going to do one more. I think it's an octagon. I think it's 8 sides. But let's go ahead and do the exactly same thing before. So this time they're giving us a perimeter. But I always find the central angle first. So let's do that first. Sorry about that. So we're going to do 96 divided by 8, which gives me 12. And again, that's the full thing, but we want half. So let's kind of just draw that in here. Okay, so you want half. Wait. Guys, you know what? Real quickly. They didn't give me any side. So what I got to do is, sorry, I'm not finding that. I'm finding, I didn't do 360. I'm doing the perimeter first to get my side. So that gives me 12. Okay, so each of these are 12. I'm not going to draw them all in. So the full length here is 12. Oops. Oh, I can't write 12 very good. So that means half of it would be 6. All right? All right, so that, because now let's do the central angle. Sorry. So I did took the perimeter, which is 96, divided by how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which gives me 12. Okay, so now to get the central angle, said the wrong thing earlier. You divide by the number signs again, which is still 8. And this time that gives you 45, but you don't want the full length. You want half of that. So it's 22.5. I should wish these squares were. All right, so you got a right triangle again. This part is 22.5 because you always want half. You don't want the full central angle. So if you want, you can draw yourself a little triangle again. Put the stuff where you have it. Should make that look a little bigger. This angle is 22.5. All right, and we're looking for this. So this is kind of set up like my other one. I know it has to be a tangent because I don't have the hypotenuse. Okay, so this will be tan, just like the other one. It'll be tan 22.5 equals opposite 6 over A, and so A will equal 6 over tan 22.5. So you're going to type that in the calculator. Gives you a bunch of decimals, so we're going to go about 14.47. So now we have everything we need. So again, I'm sorry about that. At first, I took the perimeter divided by the sides to get the S. So this is actually my S. All right, so now to get the area, which is 1/2 A times P, you would do 1/2. Take your apothem in this case, which we had A. I always use the letter A when I'm doing the apothem, so I can know I'm looking for the apothem. Sometimes you might have to find something else, but in this case, since it's my A value turned out to be 14.47, and the perimeter was already given, which was 96. So I'll put that all in the calculator. This is a pretty big one. Area turns out to be 694, around 5.6. I always try to go at least to the 100th decimal place. All right, that's it for your notes. Again, sorry about what I was doing on number 4, but again, what I did to start off on number 4 is I took the perimeter divided by the size to get the S. I said central angle when I said the wrong thing at first, so I apologize for that. All right, that's it. I do have some additional videos that you can watch also if you want to.